Good afternoon, Knicks Nation. Today is Monday. It is the 24th day of June 2024. I hope you're safe and healthy today. I hope you enjoyed your weekend and that your family is also safe and healthy and have enjoyed their weekend, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field who, along with the first responders, are every day saving lives. Those also that pick up garbage for us to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography and child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, sex slavery, double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and those perverts that create demands for these things. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, and children homeless in the United States of America and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Today, it looks like Kenny Atkinson, one of my favorite coaches, former Nets head coach and now was assistant coach at Golden State, is going to be the new head coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Good for Kenny Atkinson. And the Cleveland Cavaliers reportedly are going to offer Donovan Mitchell over $200 million on a contract. Now, this type of situation, Cleveland paid a lot to get Donovan Mitchell. Cleveland has not yet made an Eastern Conference Finals with Donovan Mitchell. And Cleveland is about to be on the hook for $200 million to Donovan Mitchell. This is precisely the type of situation that Don has been trying to avoid and has avoided successfully, which many in Knicks Nation still don't understand. You do not want to be paying someone $200 million and your team is not in the Eastern Conference Finals and much less in the finals. Okay? You want to be in the ECF at least before you start writing checks that big, because then you can justify it because of your team on the cusp of getting to the chip, or at least in the conversation. The Knicks are very close, but they're not there, which is why I suspect Jalen Brunson will sign a $156 million extension, which takes place after next season. And I'm not sure, but Julius Randle should get an extension also. I'm not sure about $181 million, but he should get something fair for both the Knicks and him. I don't know if they're, and Ian Begley doesn't think they'll come to an agreement this summer. They have until August. I don't know. It could work either way, but it's going to be fair to the Knicks. Now, that being the case, the Knicks were one game from the Eastern Conference Finals this past season. So you're going to have OG Anunoby back. And the whole Mitchell Robinson thing, I'm beginning to feel, even though I'm always a little nervous, one of my real guys, which Mitch Rob is one of them, is brought up in trade talks. And this sounded legitimate to me on the surface because of the money involved. It's a business operation. Nothing to do with Mitch's performance. It's about business. Also, understanding that the whole Paul George thing is BS, because this is a gamesmanship between the Knicks and their management and OG and his people trying to get the most or fair price from both. That's all this is about. So they're not going to get, and I told you, DeMar DeRozan is too old. He doesn't fit. You must quit. So is Paul George. Too old. He doesn't fit. You must quit. $48 million a year. Are you kidding me? No. That's not going to happen. So right now, I'm expecting the Knicks to have Mitchell Robinson. Now, going through the last week, I think it was, or maybe a week before, we went through the cap situation with the Knicks. The key here for the first apron is Bogdanovich. That's the key here. Okay? Everybody else, if you keep everybody as you got them, Bogdanovich is the key thing here. You will go with the first apron and probably avoid the second apron if you keep everybody, including Bogdanovich, by a few dollars. But knowing the Don, if you don't have to go with the first apron, why would he? So that being the case, I expect them to renounce Bogdanovich's contract on Friday and owe him $2 million. Thereby, their total cap will be $165 instead of $182. saving the $17 million. At that point, they'd be $17 million lighter. They'd be under the first apron. There'd be non-taxpayers. Then they can use the full mid-level exception any kind of way they want. They could use it for any combination of the whole 12.8, or they can divide it between players. And I'm not sure who they would bring in for that ninth guy. That's the only question that's really lingering for me this week. And the second question is, what are they going to do with 2 out of their 3 picks? I'm expecting them to pick Ryan Dunn with one of those 3 picks, either one of the 2 first rounders or the second rounder. But I'm expecting them to maneuver to pick Ryan Dunn from Virginia. Other than that, I'm not sure where they'll go. Of course, I've let it be known my favorite guy at that range is Deron Holmes for the Knicks. But we'll have to see what the Knicks want to do. So my expectation here is that Don avoids the first apron by letting Bogdanovich's contract go. They could get a ninth guy. There's lots of ninth guys they could get. Some of y'all have your favorites. I've heard Kelly Oubre's name mentioned. There's, we had Caruso, but now he's gone to OKC. And then there's other guys that we could talk about. Royce O'Neal. There's other guys that will be in the conversation for the ninth guy. You're talking about the ninth guy. We're not talking about a starter, 6th man, 7th man, 8th man. We're talking about the ninth man. Okay, so I think there's options for the ninth man. And that those options will keep the Knicks under the first apron. Now, getting to the point of Mitchell, $209 million. And they haven't reached the ECF. See, you don't want that. See, Knicks Nation, you don't want that. Which is why you're not going to get Paul George. And you're not going to get DeMar DeRozan. Again, the cost would put you over the second apron, and the Knicks are good enough to compete with the team they now have without going over either apron. Honestly, they could just stay under the first apron. Now, next summer, we'll deal with next summer as we get close to next summer. But right now, with the team the Knicks now have, bringing everybody back healthy, and Juju just said he was ahead of schedule. We just saw a picture of Jalen Brunson with no cast on his left hand. So I think they're going to be ready for training camp, full strength, all of them. That being the case, the Knicks can compete for the chip this year. So this is an all-in year. And if you could get an all-in year without tax consequences, that's what you want to do. So we'll see. The big move to me this week, aside from who else would they draft, if they draft another player, or do they trade those picks and go for the future, I'm not sure. That's number one. Number two, will they renounce Bogdanovich's contract on Friday? And I'm expecting them to do that. I would be surprised if they're willing to pay first tax apron money. It's not going to be a lot, honestly. Even for the Knicks, it's not a lot. It's not like they way over the first apron. They'd be slightly over. I know Dolan don't care. As long as they're going to win, he don't care. But the Don might care. So we'll see. And they don't have to bring Bogdanovich's contract back. They can renounce that mess and let him pay the $2 million, give him his $2 million, be under the apron, and we're good. Because OG's number and Hartenstein's number are going to be team-friendly numbers. I'm going to guarantee you that right now. And they're both going to get their money now. Hartenstein's still going to get his $70+ million. OG going to get in the 140 range still. But it's going to be team-friendly on this year's first-year deal. So we're not worried about that. But it's Bogdanovich. That's the big one. So we'll see what happens with that by Friday. It's a big week. The draft coming up. We're going to see. I'm looking for some list. The Knicks put out a little partial list, which I think was a smokescreen, which Begley said they're being secretive about who they work out. Don't go by that list, that little partial list you saw recently. That's not the real list. Okay? They're working with guys you don't even know nothing about yet. And I'm hoping they put out an official list that's more up to date. Then we get an idea. But I have a feeling that Don is always keeping things close to the vest. But he's keeping this week especially close to the vest, which makes it even more intriguing. So we'll see as the week goes on. In the meantime, listen, don't fall for the BS and the okie doke. Enjoy your Monday. Shalom.